Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing the top 10 best fall perfumes for women this year, and I did my best to switch things up. I included a lot of the new releases. I have a couple repeats from last year, but I don't think anyone will mind because they are just too good not to share. But if it's your first time here, welcome. I'm so happy you found me. This is our Pink Sparkly Bubble on YouTube, where we talk about luxury, beauty, fragrance, fashion, everything glam. So if that sounds like you, join our community by subscribing and don't forget to hit the notification bell. It's not a perfect science here, but I did my best to organize these from day to evening. That way we have some organization. So I'm going to begin with Maison Louis Marie No. 4, Bois de Ballancourt. This is the little travel spray. And this was sent to me complimentary several months ago in a little gift package from Sephora. It's a Clean at Sephora brand that I had never heard of. So this is my very first fragrance from them. And the moment I smelled it, I think I received this end of spring, early summer. I instantly thought of fall. It was the first thing I thought was, this is going to be perfect for fall. The fragrance family is earthy, woody. The scent type is warm woods. Key notes include sandalwood, vetiver, and amber wood. So that just sounds like fall. A lot of different warm woods. It's very feminine, although it could be unisex. I think it would change depending on the person who wore it. If it's too woody for you, I think you could layer this easily with something else. Maybe a warm floral fragrance would pair nicely with this. I really like it for daytime. Even though it's wood, you might think it's heavy and deep. It's not. It's almost like a walk through a fresh forest. I just sprayed it into the air a moment ago, but I am going to spray it directly on the blotter card so I can get a nice whiff. I like to use the blotters whenever I do these videos because 10 fragrances is just too much. I would run out of skin. It is so beautiful. It reminds me a little bit of the fig candle from Diptyque, if you're familiar. Beautiful fragrance. So nice. It's light and fresh, even though it is a woody fragrance. This is a beautiful daytime, office, running errands, going to the pumpkin patch, doing something really fall, picking up a pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks, you know, those fall daytime activities. This fragrance would be beautiful. There's almost a mintiness to it. It reminds me a bit of, is it Jersey or Sycamore from Chanel? In that it's a wood fragrance, but it has that fresh forest. The second fragrance on my list is Giorgio Armani My Way. I think this is beautiful for daytime, and I did a full review a couple weeks ago now, so I will link it down below in case you'd like to check it out. This is a new edition. It was released only a couple weeks ago, which is why it makes the list, because it's not incredibly fall forward. I do think it is perfect kind of year-round. It doesn't strike me as belonging to one season or another. And I like that it's something different because not everybody wants to smell like a fireplace or a toasted marshmallow come fall. So this is considered to be a classic floral. It has key notes of orange blossom, tuberose, and vanilla. It's warm and creamy, light, playful. Oof, I love the mister. It's so nice. Very feminine, very floral. You get a lot of orange blossom. And then as it dries down, the vanilla really comes to the surface. It reminds me a little bit of Gabrielle. I don't remember if I mentioned that at all in my initial review, but just now as I sprayed it, kind of made me think of Gabrielle from Chanel. Maybe the Gabrielle essence though, because it has that creaminess. It's a breath of fresh air. If you like florals, I think you'll really like this fragrance. And it's nice for daily use. You know, it's not going to blow your mind. I don't think this is a special occasion fragrance. I wouldn't wear this for evenings or date nights, depending on the date. But I do think this could be your everyday fragrance that you spritz on. It smells amazing. It boosts your confidence and you walk out the door ready to take on your day. It's that kind of fragrance. Fragrance 3 is the first repeat from last year. It's Tom Ford's Soleil Nesh. And I don't remember if I talked about this during fall favorites. It could have been winter favorites. It was sometime around last year because that's when the fragrance first launched. But I absolutely love Soleil Neige, and here I have the shimmering body oil. But I love this fragrance in all forms. I'm so happy they brought out the travel size. So there's a 10 milliliter spray. I want to say it retails for $65, which is not bad for Tom Ford, especially if you're unsure if you really love the fragrance and you want to invest in the full size. And they also came out with the all over body spray in the can, which is a nice option for some people. I personally would rather have the travel spray, so that is on my wish list for Christmas this year. The description says, this perfume mimics the serene shimmer of sun on snow and the cool reflection of winter sun brightening with glacial light. And that is a really great way to describe the fragrance because it is kind of light and fresh. You know, it has bergamot. There's that citrus burst right at the beginning, but it's kind of soft and wintry at the same time. And the nice thing about the shimmering body oil is that it's very light. It absorbs right into the skin. I actually think Soleil Neige is a bit lighter than the Soleil Blanc. I have them both. I'm not sure if that is the case, but they feel different to me. Maybe that's because the Soleil Blanc I have is really old, but this one is so beautiful. It doesn't feel really oily or tacky. It makes your skin glow, and the shimmer is very soft. So you're just left with the lightest scent. It is so beautiful. This one is a bit softer. Even the eau de parfum, whenever I've sprayed that on my person, within a couple hours, it's very light. So it's not a heavy fragrance for fall, which is why I think this is perfect for daytime. It is one of the prettiest fragrances from Tom Ford. And I love the shimmering body oil because you can layer on top. You could go on top with Métallique, the eau de parfum version of Soleil Neige. You could do a different fragrance altogether. But it's nice to have something different. These next few fragrances are somewhere in the middle between daytime and evening. I think they work seamlessly for both. You know, if you are going to be out during the day and you're staying out until the evening, these would be beautiful. Or if you just want to add a little drama, a little sensuality, a little moodiness to your daytime event, maybe bring a little playfulness to your evening event, these fragrances work well. So number 4 is Athalia from Parfums de Marly. Arguably a very sexy date night evening fragrance. It is perfect for fall. Fall in a bottle. And I think there is enough floral powdery softness that it works for daytime too. I just think it is the ultimate fall fragrance that could take you anywhere. You could wear this fragrance for any occasion in the fall winter months. It has that warmth to it. Athalia is described as opulent and highly feminine. It's floral, woody, and musky. Its heart combines powdery iris and delicate orange blossom, a bewitching fragrance blending softness and sophistication. And I think that is the best way to describe it. So pretty. This is so beautiful. It's very special. It would be a really special everyday fragrance. The floral, powdery notes make it really sophisticated, very elegant for daytime. But then you get that musk and vanilla, and it's very moody and a bit dark and deep. Perfect for fall, but great for evenings and date nights too. It does it all. Feminine and opulent are really two of the best descriptors for this fragrance because it's not really sweet, and it's not really floral either, so it's unlike any of the other fragrances on the list so far. Next on my list is Chloé Nomade Absolu de Parfum. This is the latest interpretation of Chloé Nomade, which is another beautiful fragrance. If you love Nomade, chances are you will love Absolu. It's just a little bit more intense than the original version. I find it to be a little bit spicier, a little bit mossy. This fragrance is for the wanderers, the explorers, the adventurers at heart, and I know so many of us are staying at home, not doing much adventure seeking at the moment, but it's so nice to be able to smell this fragrance and just escape. That is what this fragrance is to me. And because it has a little moodiness, a little spiciness, I do think it is perfect for fall winter Beautiful anytime, daytime, evening, it doesn't really matter. I don't think this fragrance has a season or even an occasion. It just kind of has a spirit to itself. It's that adventure. Like, you never know what's going to happen next. Nomad Absolute is an earthy, woody fragrance with keynotes of Divana, cherry plum, and oak moss. Something I've always admired about the Nomad bottle is that it looks like a Chloe handbag. It has that similar shape, and you have the little suede tassel right here, so a nod to adventure. Just really beautiful details. So pretty. And you do get a little cherry plum right off the top. There's a bit of tartness. I love this fragrance, and it's so funny because every time I smell it, I think it's amazing. I don't wear it that often because I feel like I save it for an occasion that matches the fragrance. With any other fragrance, I usually just spray it on depending on what mood I want to have. Doesn't matter where I'm going, it just depends on what I'm looking for. But with Nomad, it has to be the right occasion, it has to be the right event, and then I will wear it. And the best part is I picked this up recently using the Sephora perfume sampler set, the gift certificate inside for the full-size bottle. So the set itself is $68, and the fragrance, I want to say, is a little over $100. This is the 1 ounce, right? Is it 1.2? Is it 1 ounce? Yes, this is the 1 ounce bottle. So it's a much better deal to get the perfume sampler set and then trade in your little scent certificate for whatever fragrance you love. If you are going to purchase this anyway, go ahead and get the set. That way you can save some money. Next is the only other repeat I have on the list. It's Maison Francis Kurkdjian Gentle Fluidity Gold. I did talk about this last year. I've probably talked about it a million times since, and I don't think anybody can be upset or blame me because this is one of the most beautiful feminine fragrances, and I think it is appropriate daytime or evening. I think this would be a beautiful signature scent. It's as if he captured the spirit of femininity and bottled it up. That is what I think about when I think of this fragrance, and it came as a pair. There's Gentle Fluidity Silver, Gentle Fluidity Gold. They both have the same notes but in different intensity, so it completely changes the fragrance. It's really cool how he did it. And one is kind of the silhouette of a man, the other's a silhouette of a woman. The fragrance style is listed as fresh, which I don't really agree with. It is fresh-ish, but I would say this is more of a warm, kind of sweet, kind of gourmand fragrance. It has notes of juniper berry, nutmeg, coriander, musk, ambery woods, and vanilla. And don't you just know when you have musk, ambery woods, vanilla, nutmeg, coriander, you just know it's going to smell like fall or winter. It's a very warm, very sensual, somewhat sexy, but a little bit softer than that, very cozy fragrance. I'm gonna spray again. It's so beautiful. It is a wonder that I have not completely gone through this bottle. I try to not spray it that much. I don't know why. I feel like I need to save the fragrance or else I'll get sick of it, because this is the type of fragrance that I would wear every single day. I want to smell the way this fragrance smells. It is so good. If you love vanilla and you love warm, kind of sensual fragrances, slightly sweet, you will love this. These last 4 fragrances would be perfect for evening. So this next fragrance is After Sunset from Kilian. I love this fragrance. I think it might be the sexiest fragrance on the entire list. It's very playful, very unexpected. I know I've told the story before, but in case you haven't heard it, I am going to tell it again. The way I discovered this fragrance was kind of funny. It came in a box. I think I had ordered a couple things from Sephora, and it was a sample. I opened the box, sprayed it on my arm, sniffed, hated it. Did not like it at all. I threw the sample away, and I thought, oh, absolutely not. That smells like every other floral fragrance. It is so generic. Nothing stands out about it. So disappointing. I even thought to myself, I should do a video about that. Really disappointing generic fragrances. And then a couple hours later, I kept smelling my arm, just kind of revisiting. It completely changed. Not only did this fragrance grow on me over time, I became addicted to it, to the point where I just kept smelling my arm, smelling my arm, smelling my arm. Like, what is in this fragrance? What is it about this fragrance that I just cannot get enough of? So of course, I went back to the trash can, took the fragrance out, and I think this was probably my very next fragrance purchase. I just knew from that moment that I had to own this fragrance. I just wanted to wear it all the time. It's part of the fresh fragrance family. It's a fresh citrus. It has blackcurrant, lychee, and rose. It's really nice. It's very fresh, very light and fresh right off the top. It's hard to pinpoint any notes. I think that's why at first, when I first sprayed it, I almost felt like it was so generic. It was like nothing was standing out to me. The beauty is in the dry down of this fragrance. Every time I spray it, I'm like, is it that good? Wait a minute. I'm confused. Do I really this is the fragrance that I love so much? I know. You have to wait. Give it an hour, and it's beautiful. It's not sweet. It's not overly feminine. It's not really timeless, sophisticated. It's not an elegant floral fragrance. It's just a sexy evening fragrance. But I love it. Fragrance number 8 is the newest addition to my perfume collection. It is Voce Viva from Valentino. I did a dedicated review. I will link it down below in case anybody is interested. I think this is a beautiful evening fragrance, especially for fall winter, because it is very warm, very sensual, very feminine, but soft. So this is not going to knock your socks off. It doesn't have a ton of projection. Once it dries down, and the beauty is really in the dry down with this fragrance as well, you have to be really close to pick it up. It's a warm floral with keynotes of Italian bergamot, orange blossom absolute, and crystal moss accord. And I do love this bottle. It looks like one giant rock stud since it goes in on the sides. I think that's very classic. It's very Valentino. It is beautiful. It's very pretty right away. It's a lot sweeter, a bit more fruity than anything else that we've talked about. A little bit powdery. It's so soft and feminine. It doesn't really get warm and sensual until later on. The initial spray is a lot of that bergamot, mandarin, a lot of citrus, and it's kind of just fresh, fruity, and sweet. Very playful. It's just classic, feminine, and floral. That's all you need to know. And now it's getting even better. I did like this fragrance initially, but it wasn't until it dried down a little bit that I really came to fall in love with it. And that's why it makes the list. This makes me want to book a restaurant and go on a date night. We really haven't been out to dinner much lately. I'm sure we're all kind of in the same boat here. This fragrance inspires me to get dressed up and go out. The next fragrance I chose is Tom Ford Rose Prick. I think this is the sexiest rose fragrance, perfect for fall. It's very sensual, very evening. It's a little bit spicy, and this launched at the beginning of the year. I think it was around Valentine's Day, and as soon as I smelled this fragrance, I knew I had to add it to my collection, even though it comes with the uber luxury price tag. Why does Tom Ford do that to us? I recently stopped by Neiman Marcus and I did smell bitter peach. I'm torn. I like it. I don't really love it. That price point is ridiculous. I need to revisit a couple more times before I can ultimately make up my mind. I would love to purchase it just for the sake of the review, but $350 for a 1.7 ounce bottle of fragrance. Isn't it $350 for this? Yeah. Way too expensive to be uncertain, so I need to revisit. It was very sweet, a lot of really sweet peach right off the top, and then as it dried down, it became bourbon and not much else. And it didn't really last that long. Of course, I just sprayed once on the wrist just to try it out. So we'll see. Let me know down below in the comments what you think. Have you tried bitter peach? Are you interested? Do you want to see a full review? Let me know down below. It was the complete opposite with Rose Prick. The first time I smelled this fragrance, it was like, wow, I love that. I really like rose, and this is a rose fragrance that's very different from most rose fragrances. I always kind of say, like, this isn't your grandmother's rose. It's a modern take on rose. It's described as a warm floral with keynotes of Bulgarian rose, rose de mai, and turmeric. So nice. I love rose brick. One more time. Like a breath of fresh air, I love rose prick. If you love rose, I think you will love it. But also if you want something feminine, it's a very Tom Ford fragrance. I feel like Tom Ford fragrances always have patchouli. There is one common note in all of them. This fragrance has the Tom Ford identity, but it's very sexy and feminine. I love this. I love wearing this fragrance. It's not a simple rose. You have a bouquet of wild roses, so many different breeds of rose, and it does have kind of a wildflower take. It's not just straight, simple rose note that you smell in every other rose fragrance. It's really beautiful. Last but certainly not least, I have Darcy from Parfums de Marly. And this fragrance could definitely be considered the dark horse of their women's line. I did a review of all of their fragrances, and the first time I sprayed this on my arm, my reaction was no, not for me. A fine fragrance, but not something that I would ever wear. And by the end of that video, it had become one of my favorite fragrances. It's so funny how that works. And so many people commented and they said it reminds them of Coco Mademoiselle from Chanel, which I did not put together at that time. Now I can sort of pick up on the similarities, and they do have some similar notes, but the composition of those two fragrances is very different. Darcy is described as a soft and sensual fragrance, blending citrus notes and sweet floral notes with white musk and a base of patchouli. It has top notes of bergamot and orange, heart notes of rose and jasmine, base notes of musk and patchouli. So nice. The fragrance is so soft initially, but the dry down, it's like night and day. It becomes very strong. I guess it's a quiet strength, but to me this is a very CEO type of fragrance. It's so sophisticated. It does have similar notes to Coco Mademoiselle. I think it is closer to Coco, at least in the opulence and the luxurious, elegant feel of the fragrance. It has the glamour of Coco, kind of a hint of mystery and spice like Coco Noir. I think it has the mass appeal of Coco Mademoiselle, but it's a more modern take, which makes sense because it is a newer fragrance. But I think if you do love Coco Mademoiselle, you will probably love Darcy. And I have to mention, because it expires at the end of the month, but I do have a promo code right now with Parfums de Marly. If you purchase any full-size fragrance, you will receive a complimentary Delina candle at checkout. You just have to use the code ERINNICOLE. It's an $83 value, and the candle is beautiful. I display mine. The scent is incredible. Of course, if you love Delina, you're going to love the candle. But it's a beautiful gift for yourself, for somebody else. That goes through the end of October, so if you have your eyes on any of the Parfums de Marly fragrances, Delina, Castley, it could be Athalia, Darcy, if you're looking to add one to your collection, take advantage of the candle while you can. It's really incredibly generous of them, so I'm just happy to spread the word to you guys if anybody's interested. But that completes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. I want to hear from you guys, so be sure to share your favorite fall fragrances. I have a running list of all of your recommendations, so drop me a comment, leave me your favorites. We'll keep the conversation going there. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything on my face down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.